sharing with you a few thoughts about the new Natasha Denona Glam Face palette that she released. I'll be sharing with you a look that I created, this look that I'm wearing right now. And yeah, let's get started. This palette contains a cream blush, a cream highlight, and 5 eyeshadows. There are 3 matte eyeshadows in the palette, which are the transition shade, the smoke shade, and the crease shade. And 2 of it are, how do you describe that? It's sparkle, but in a drier formula. Like when I swirl my finger in there, it's a bit of chunky formula, but once you smooth it out on the skin, it's actually a pretty nice glitter and shine on the eye, as what it is, as you can see on my eyelid right there. I've explained it a bit more where I've used those shadows. So I'm putting the transition shade all over my eyelids, just a light, I want it to be a light wash of it all over my eyelids. And then I want to use the crease shade and the outer corner of my eye, like there. And doing the same thing on the other side. Oh, you see how pigmented that is? Just gonna dab the pigment first and then try to blend it out and shear out the color towards the inner part. Then I can go with a fluffy brush to just blend it through. Just gonna dab a tiny bit of eye primer because I'll be going in and using the one of the metallic shades, and I'm going in with this shade that says Inner Corner, with using my finger to pick it up and dab the pigment in the center like so, just dabbing it, and that is a stunning shade. I think I prefer using this 2 shiny shimmery shades here over a primer, or you'll see more of the pigment shine through if you use a primer underneath or a glitter glue, because I've tried this 2 shades by itself, dry, nothing, no primer underneath, and these 2 shades are just flaky. They went all over my face, and you can see the shade is more visible and more shiny, more, you know, it's got more impact. Going in with a small brush with the shade Smoke. It's the darkest shade in the palette, and I'm just going to brush it close to my lash line, close to my lashes, sort of like an eyeliner. And this is very pigmented and very dark, this color. As the name suggests, it's a smoke shade, so it is very brilliant if you want a smoky eye look. Lastly, I think I will be using this shade called the Outer Corner shade, and just picking it up very lightly again on the tip of my brush and just putting that in my inner corner. I know I am not following what it says you should, where you should put it. Like, this is just how I use my eyeshadows, you know. I use it how I think would work for me, and I'm sure some of you does the same thing. I think so far I have used all the shades in the palette, all the 5 shades, just to show you how it would look like. I mean, for this first video of showing you this palette, I tried to use all of the shades in one look, just for you to have like sort of an idea of the pigment color wise, I guess, of how it looks on me. But I will be using this palette more. I've got to say, this palette is very pigmented. This palette can create a very smoky look for you if you wanted to, because the shades here are very opaque. And I want to show you what the palette looks like after me using it for a few times now. You can see how the edges, the white edges of it, the pigment is just staining it. The palette just goes to show that when you use it, it is very pigmented. The pigment just goes and stains the white plastic. I noticed that this palette is kind of different from the first, or for the palettes that she has come up with, because of like the sort of the design that is quite fully, like really rounded on the edges. Like technically 3 products in one palette. The size of it is very nice. I'll compare it, just to compare and just for you to see me showing you 3 different palettes from Natasha Denona, which is her, this is her like regular, I guess, big size palette. This is the retro midi palette, and this is the glam face palette. Just to show you a size comparison, that is the size of it. So very nice to take with you, I guess. Put it in your purse if you want to, or take it with you in holidays, I guess. If you ask me personally, I would love it if she would have squeezed in, probably squeezed in the middle, a bronzer shade. That would be a perfect like overall face palette for me. Yeah, but nevertheless, it is still a nice product, you know. Just add one more product in your purse, like a bronzer, to complete your makeup. Overall, this palette is beautiful. It is a pleasure to have, pleasure to use. As I've said, very pigmented, and I think as pigmented as they are and as dark as the shadows you have here, I think you can also work some day looks with it, like everyday day looks with it. You just need a tiny bit of product, just, you know, a tiny bit, just to create a bit of wash on the eyes. So those are my thoughts about the palette. I hope this video has been helpful to you, and again, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. No need to find it, know at the time